Okay, so a couple quick tidbits of interesting stuff I want to talk about. Number one, who caught Jordan's one of my semifinal third game from the tournament? Anyone here? No one. It was.
I watched Mastering Runeterra stuff.
Don't even know what one
it was like, I don't know, like maybe the craziest game of all time. Like it's close. It's basically close. At one point, Jordan has like 5 or 6 cards. He's playing Darkness, and he's playing against Fizz Lulu, and his opponent has what is it? No, 1 card in hand, no board. Okay. And one of mine is at 10. And he has like 5 or 6 cards in hand, like including like a Senna and a Sentry, like a Withering Whale. This game is over, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking over.
Yeah.
And the Fizz Lulu player came back and won.
What do they have? Do they have a telescope?
They went like runner. So yeah, so okay, so what do? They go top deck.
Third captain in a fucking row. So they just keep throwing out these captains, and Jordan keeps having to like answer them. And he answers them like really well. You know, he's baiting his opponent in with boxes and shit. But then he has to like vengeance this one. And then they finally end up pushing like 4 damage or something with 2 impact from the
6.
The mech
they
guy.
push 6.
Yeah, 6 damage. Anyway, the guy ends up top decking like Pokey into Mayor into Aloof into Get Excited. It's some insane shit.
Jesus Christ.
And just gets him.
Yikes.
He got him even through the like Withering Well eel. That's crazy.
Do you want to change Kever's name?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
I can be
I
Jordan
don't either.
So
yeah,
tell us about your.
So what am I?
We can change it to
fucking-
Axel.
I was gonna...
So you were here
Jordan's
for
in
that,
the
but
chat.
I was playing a game with like a Jace Vi at least like fearsome deck, and the Forge worker was on the
Kever.
board. Yeah, Kever was on the board, and Jace came down, and the Forge worker said something, and then Jace responds, and he says like, "Always good to see you, Axel," or something, and I go, "I didn't know Kever's name was Axel," and they're all like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Totally got me.
Okay. I heard a reference to that I never understood, but now I do. When was that? When did we play against and you played like that chase deck?
I don't know. I loved that deck for a bit, like a season ago, I think.
Yeah, but like it's coming back in the Sentinel version, which I think is kind of weird. I don't know what you guys think about that Sentinel deck. The Sentinel
okay.
with like Jace instead of Vi and like a couple Shock Blasts.
Triple
coming
Albus
back?
Pharos is like nuts. It's so good. That,
Yeah,
that
Albus
card
is
hits
nuts in that deck.
so hard. Does
Wait,
so much.
Wait, is it actually coming back, or do you think it's just like the same people who played it before, or like just
Probably the
still
same
playing
people.
it?
Flop
Kind of the same people.
That's never really left anywhere. It's always been like in the back.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the deck in general, but
Floppy ended up topping with it. I've played against it quite a bit where if you can't answer Jace like right away, they have so much reach, like so much fucking damage.
Oh, like just shock blast, boom, boom. Albus comes down, like it gets nasty.
It spirals out of control really fast.
yeah, I think the Jace version is much better. I always hated the, I don't know, Elise Kindred one or whatever it was, or Vi
Yeah.
Kindred.
It's like Kindred Elise, a combination of like any of those champions.
It just ran out of
Any
stuff to
numbers.
do, like, and then, yeah, but like, Jace, like Albus Ferris is like really really good. Like you just play it, you get a free good card, and it's like a good body itself, and it does like 1,000,000 damage.
Maybe I
it's
should
just a
play
good
that deck
card
more.
It's fun.
for top end.
It looked pretty
I'm
good.
playing it on the Smurf right now.
I was impressed by it when we saw it on stream.
It's
Also,
super-
Jordan, are you dying? Like you've been sick for so long. Are you okay, man? Can you give me a thumbs up in chat? Let me know that you're like not dying in a room somewhere.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
been like weeks, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks. I know.
Damn.
I was
3
chatting with
weeks
him
or so.
earlier about it.
Yeah.
I was also concerned.
Jesus.
he just needs a break from us, you know.
He's
Yeah,
actually
that's fair.
fine. He
Yeah.
just can't talk without coughing. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Can you imagine how infuriating it would be if we got into one of our classic arguments? He just couldn't respond. I just keep
You're like,
talking
yeah,
over
what?
him.
You got nothing.
You would finally win,
Yeah.
Jason.
Oh god damn it! You can't let me have this one. Fuck.
I saw a fun tweet that I thought would stir up some shit on Twitter. Drizoth tweeted something about how there are good Runeterra streamers and there are entertaining Runeterra streamers, and there aren't really any that are both.
Suck it, Majin.
That wasn't the exact wording, but I thought it was a really interesting conversation topic.
I
think he's trying to say you're not good.
I think you're attacked.
Yeah.
I think you feel attacked.
So,
No,
like, it was in
'cause, like,
reference.
he might be kind of right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there are some streamers that are very entertaining streamers, and they tend not to be High Masters players. Then a lot of the High Masters players, like, let's say Akato, is just so dry, just so boring.
Yeah,
One time I was watching paint dry, a video of it, and I thought I was watching an Akato stream.
the LOR streamer who doesn't play LOR. I just thought it was interesting because, like, I imagine that happens in a lot of other communities. I don't watch a lot of streams, but, like, I feel like
yes,
you get
it's
so many points in your
exceptionally
character
hard to do
creation.
both. Like, you're like, you know what? Not a lot of actors can be really good comedians and win an Oscar for drama. Yeah, shocker. That shit's fucking tough. It's the same in, like, all genres. And I feel like I will give this to you, Majid. You're one of the few that can do it. And I've often referred to you as like our version of Andrea Mengucci, who's the, like, Magic version of someone that can do that. He's very entertaining and very good at the game. So yeah, what else you got, Majin? Is that just you upset that he couldn't find any? That there was none?
I wanted to put forth my opinion that I think a lot of the top players that are not as entertaining are because it is almost impossible to be a top player while focusing on being entertaining.
Yeah, it's awful.
For sure,
It's
agree.
miserable.
I also think it's a symptom of, like, card games. I wouldn't say there's a lot of card game streamers, even, like, all gender. Like, there's Andrea Miguchi and Magic and things like that. But I don't think there's a lot of card games where there's a lot of streamers who are both entertaining and super, super high level. And, like, in LOR, like, you see the contrast where, like, Grappler is streaming at the same time as Aikado is streaming. And that's when you lose, like, half your viewership because, like, Grappler is the quirky and funny guy. And it's nice to have, but yeah, I don't think it's.
I think Akato's plenty quirky. Okay.
Yeah, but, like, he's no Grappler.
Slave today.
But I agree with Bryson. It was a reference to some tweet that Extasio tweeted out a couple of weeks ago, where LOR streamers are only complains that their game is dying and that they have low viewership, while there is no good streamers. And I just think that's factually wrong. And just because less people want to watch, like, super, super top level, and more people want to watch entertainment. But most of the people that lead themselves to content creation, they start as a tournament player, and then maybe they branch out. But it's hard to do both. And at the same time, almost impossible.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Do you think it's easier to be entertaining and highly competitive in non-card games?
Yes.
I agree.
I think you're totally right. My what do you call it? Like, a stream of consciousness is probably much more entertaining to listen to when I play Valorant or League of Legends.
Oh my god, I could talk shit and play Valorant all fucking day. Those things are not coalesced. And, like, it's the action's so fast. And sometimes you're just chilling there waiting for people. Like, sometimes you're dead. You're just waiting. Like, it's so much easier.
So not everybody can pop off like crazy. And in card games, you don't want to pop off when you top deck. And like popping off and going crazy and, like, going these guns like you see Grappler do. It's not sustainable. It's too hard to do in whenever you top deck for lethal.
Oh, I could never
inherent
stream like
drama. Like, more inherent drama and action and, like, League or Valorant or whatever, right? And I think that a lot of times, if you want to be exciting on stream, you have to, like, kind of make that for yourself. You have to be the one out there, giving the storyline for each of these games to get people invested, because the game doesn't really do it itself, unless someone's, like, paying a ton of attention. You have to hold their hand.
Fair. Yeah.
That's it. I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was an interesting tweet.
I think he's right, Majin. You kind of
not it, dude.
Honestly, I thought you were talking, but the chat consensus right now is that you are more entertaining than good.
That's probably true. I
Who,
suck on
blaming him
stream,
on
bro.
all the angle.
The guy that did the best at Worlds out of everyone?
No, not out of
I
everyone.
didn't get to play.
Jordan.
Jordan did
And
the
what am
best
I?
out of everyone.
Yeah, it was Jordan and then me and then.
I don't know.
and
I
then
went undefeated.
Jordan's
at
not here
Worlds.
though. It doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Jason was undefeated at
Wait, were you
Worlds.
talking about me or talking about Aikido?
I have no.
Kato. Because
Oh, okay.
Ev was also undefeated at Worlds.
I don't know. He took a L like before he even started.
Pretty big. That was big.
oh, let's speak about Worlds a little bit.
Sure.
Isn't it kind of weird? Like, so you remember when they announced Worlds last time? It was a big fucking deal. Everyone was super excited. People were grinding the ladder and like a lot of hype. We are technically qualifying for Worlds right now, but like it feels like no one gives a fuck because, and my theory is that because we don't have a prize pool, we don't have a date, we don't even have specifics about qualifying. We assume it's going to work the same as last year.
It seemed pretty clear that it's
the same.
basically the same system, point system. Like you get point for like every rounds in the seasonal.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah,
you
so
get
maybe my
points for
last
first
maybe my
round.
last
It's
point should have
basically
been my last point should have been I thought there was something. I thought there was something that we needed to know, but my last point should have been we don't know how many seasons they're going to be, which is extremely important, right?
Right, yeah.
Because if they're like, hey, there's 2 seasons, you'd be like, fuck. But because there's a very good chance there's going to be 3 if Worlds is at the
Yeah,
same
it
time it
looks
was
like there's
last
going
year.
to be 3 seasons, and last time was 4 season, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
5
4.
or
Five.
5.
Yeah, 5 or
Five?
4. Yeah, it's going to be 3.
There was 3
for
they
sure.
announced it, so like the seasonal points were only for 3 seasons. I think.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
Mm,
Yeah.
Right,
I thought there was 4 because I thought we went 2, and then they changed the format, and then we went 4, and then Worlds. I thought that's what it
No,
was.
it was 3 and then Worlds. Yeah.
Oh, 2, 3 Worlds.
By the way, like ladder and top cuts are still retrospective.
Just the top 4s, right? It
Yeah, top 4s and
the
ladder.
seasonal
And
points.
ladder
Yeah.
points, not
Not,
seasonal
not,
points.
not the ladder
Yeah.
point from the last season, sadly.
Anyways, like,
just
but do
that.
you guys feel like any sort of like, hey, we're qualifying for Worlds, let's go, like,
I think there's a couple different things going on as people are not as hyped as before. First off, the announcement was kind of botched for sure, but we are still not playing right now on the patch that the seasonal is going to be played on. And
Yep.
Champ rework coming up, anybody?
what's that?
Champ
Champ
rework
rework,
coming up in like 2 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah, the champ patch and like, but the fact that we're not playing on the patch of the seasonal and the seasonal is still a month away, and it feels like I just did not have any motivation to play until recently because it's just like, why would I learn a format where I'm not going to be competing on for like the seasonal that's coming up, and now we got a patch. I got interested again, and then it's still not going to be the patch that the seasonal is on. I don't know. I think it's hard to generate hype and generate excitement to qualify for Worlds or even like grind the ladder to qualify via ladder when like it's just so dry. No reason to play really until we get to the real patch.
Yeah, Jordan's also saying that he feels like the ladder system is frustrating because you have to play at like 67 or 62.5% win rate or whatever it is. Because you get 50 and lose 25. It has always been like that, but it is very, I don't know, it kind of feels bad.
It felt good when you could play Ari Kennen. It felt really good.
yeah,
I get that
Because-
argument, but I just love grinding ladder.
that's a real thing though, right? Like, because the format's like right now is like it's pretty balanced. Like, there's a lot of decks you could play. The format's wide open. Maybe balance is the right word, but you know what I mean though. There's a lot of like you can play control, you can play aggro, mid range, like there's combos, all kinds of stuff, and then everything kind of has a counter, and so that makes like ladder climbing like a real like pain in the ass. Because you know, like what a lot of people do, most people at the top, like you grab a deck and you like before everyone else fucking knows that's good, and you race up and then you just sit there, and then anyone that's like trying to climb afterwards, like right now, like it's a lot fucking harder. It'd be a lot easier to climb like right after the next patch when everything's fucking in the air again and nobody knows what's good. You can just like farm some LP if you figure out a deck real fast. That's good.
I actually love the part after that where you find one deck that you just get really good at and you just play that one deck over and over and over again. That's when I really enjoy ladder.
Yeah, me too.
I do too if it wins.
I'm getting there.
I know that in the Americas, you know, it's a little whatever. EU right now has 2 different people at like 1100 LP.
Yeah.
Gouda
One
and
of them's
Ultraman, right?
Gouda, who's also like
Yeah.
rank 3 with like 900 LP. I mean, their climb is fucking insane right now. I think top
Good.
30 is what, like 600 LP or something already.
Jesus Christ.
Crazy.
Yeah.
As far as
Big
the
grind.
being excited for Worlds qualifications, I'm in a unique spot because I'm not sure I'll even be able to play the seasonal. It's likely that I won't.
Right.
Yeah, for the fab thing.
For the and like it's possible I could like burn out day one of the Pro Tour, but it's honestly still higher EV for me to just like play the other Flesh and Blood tournament that day.
Yeah. Missing a seasonal is rough for Worlds qualification, but you can go through the ladder path.
That's what I'm gonna do. I stopped playing on my main for content today, so on Twitch I played on my Smurf, which is like always the biggest problem is I gain 150 LP off stream, lose 150 on stream, gain 150, lose 150, and that's such a pain in the ass because I have to play like 3-4 hours just to catch up, just to gain back what I lost, what I threw away by playing people's no unit decks that they make me play.
See, you do that because you stream. I just do that to myself.
There's one thing that I like and about the well thing, and it's gonna encourage at least some people to stop camping for just the 7-2 spots, because 7-2 spots, like sure, top 30 is good, but if you want to qualify ladder through if you want to qualify to Worlds through ladder, you most likely need like top 10 finishes. So like all those people that are actually want to grind and are super IELO and wants to grind well, they're incentivized to keep playing until top 10, top 5. And like it shakes things up. It just means that the upper echelon of the leaderboard, they're going to be like playing more, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
It is, because a lot of times if people are just like hardcore camping and you're trying to climb up, you only run into people who have like less LP than you. So if you ever lose a game, like go fuck yourself. You just lost all your LP.
Doesn't matter though, because like you're always losing 25 when you lose.
No, not when you lose
Sometimes you
people
lose
with
22,
higher
23.
Yeah, sometimes you only lose 21. You do a little fist.
You get like 20% back, bro.
And sometimes you gain like 18. You're like, yes.
Oh my god.
There is something incredibly depressing about when the -25 like puts you down like 3 numbers and it feels like you lost like 30 LP. It's like, dude, I don't want to play anymore.
It's rough out here. It is rough when you match into the Diamond 1 player and you're like,
oh.
Yeah.
If I lose this,
you have like a bad matchup and you're like, well, there goes another 40 minutes catching this back up.
Playing Lee, Q into Bandletree, and you're like, sick.
How do you feel about Lee right now?
I don't want to play Lee right now.
What, Victor Lee?
Which Lee?
4W plays second with Auction Lee.
Right. I think Auction Lee is the Lee right now.
Is the Lee deck that's playable. Victor Lee, I actually love. I think the deck is actually very good, but the Lee Sin in that deck is Victor. It's not Lee Sin.
Yeah, I cut
Lee
for Vi.
Yeah, well,
it added a third ambush.
Dude, I said that from the beginning. You guys were like, "No, Lee's so good, controls the game." Like, or you could just kill them. I don't know, it's just me.
Yeah, I still prefer Lee in that deck, and that's the deck I played the most so far this season.
Really?
But Vi is playable. It's still a Victor deck, but.
I think Lee's a lot harder to interact with than Vi. He can block better because he gets like barrier every fucking turn for some reason still. Even if he gets like palmed out of an attack in the mirror, like you're still kicking things and resetting them.
Resetting is important.
That's true.
Yeah, I think Lee has to be better. Assuming that like your cheese ass ambush 12 attack Vi doesn't hit face. Which it shouldn't, right? That's not how you.
Yeah, that hasn't happened at all this fucking season.
You guys,
just because it happens doesn't mean that it should happen or that it should be.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you don't even have to put it on a Vi, though, right? You can just put it on a bot or like whatever. The problem with Lee is that like without overwhelm, he's hitting for 4 so often. It's like,
that resets your.
What's the problem with hitting for 4?
Reset your opponent's 1/1 Poro. Like, good job, you crushed it.
Another fair.
Like Urinal Arms is so good. Gotta do something about Urinal Arms. Like, just get that Lee in there, bro. Just reset those 2 drops. What are you talking about?
With that deck, you beat Urinal Arms with Eye of the Dragon and Deny. What?
Yeah, the Lee or Vi doesn't matter versus Urinal Arms.
Okay, but you can race them though.
Why?
Why?
I does not just like stop a Urinal Arms deck. What? Like, you need 2 eyes minimum.
Sure.
You know what stops
one eye? You think one eye stops Yordle Arms? Yeah,
Yeah,
could
and
deny
you have
stuff.
deny.
You
You
have,
see
like,
the deny.
You have 3 palms, 3 denies, right? Like that. It all kind of comes together.
I'm pretty sure we saw
The
this
stats
exact
are very
map.
bad for Yordle and Arms. The stats are very bad for Yordle and Arms. Like,
Yeah, fair enough. I'm
like
not saying the
35.
matchups. Let's say the matchup's good.
It's a good matchup for Victor Lee. It's the reason I brought it to Fight Night and like that I actually like it right now. Just like the Mono Shurima matchup is kind of iffy. The stats says it's okay for Victor Lee. That's not my feeling, but maybe I'm playing it wrong.
Yo,
But
Mono
define
Shurima-
okay.
What's
Oh,
that?
I feel like Shurima is so busted right now.
She was cracked.
Yeah,
It's very
I
good.
want to say that I think this deck is broken as fuck. I think that
Mono Shurima?
people are really bad at playing against or playing Mono Shurima. I think once people get good at Mono Shurima, this deck just isn't beatable. Like it is, there are like some really big counters. You know, you play a ton of Degenerate Burn. I think once people start playing like normal fucking human beings and like fill up their board and play triple quicksand and don't drop on level champions, it's fucking unbeatable.
I actually have a different take about like filling your board. I think they should swing their board every turn.
Oh yeah, for
You
sure.
really should. Holy
Like
shit.
even
Mono
if you
Shurima.
have bad
Yeah.
trades, you should be swinging your board every turn because you need this board space. Like all these dumb people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I can't play my Roiling Sands," and they just sit here passing 10 mana back and like, "I hope you play into my Roiling Sands again." It's like
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen, buddy. Like I'm just gonna
I'm just
wait.
not gonna drop any minions. You know.
You also like if your opponent's at 11 instead of 20 when you're playing Mono Shurima, your flip turn just got real good. You know,
Yeah,
and
kill
like
it.
before it's like obviously it's good, but now you just kill them, which is huge because so many decks can kill you the turn after you flip the disc.
Yeah.
They can set a throw up an attack,
There's so
and they can
many.
kill you. They can burn
Xerath
you
is
out.
kind of good at locking shit down.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's still
He
hard.
is,
If
he is,
you
but
flip
there's
your,
the decks with
your win
burn,
rate is still like
right?
more than 80%. Once
Do you
you
guys
flip
do you guys think that says something
So
about
like
the deck?
all the Ziggs decks.
That like you get the Emperor's deck, you're like, oh man, I really wish I just had the cards from my deck.
Yeah, I just because all I want is quicksands.
It's like quicksand,
God
like maybe a
damn it, if I
right, like a
could
right of
fucking-
arcade, right of Nile. Like there's lots of shit that you'd rather have.
More landmarks. Yeah.
Landmarks, yeah.
There's a few broken.
I have
cards in the
suicided Azir.
There are,
in,
there are.
and then flip Sundisk to not have the Emperor's deck before because I was like, I really need this card.
That is so goofy.
I feel like
So
Taliyah
dumb.
Ziggs. Like, I think this fight night, I was not expecting it, but like Shurima decks came out the fucking woodworks out of nowhere.
There's
Like,
Taliyah's
Aaron was
Shurima's
Shurima.
everywhere right now. Like the
Everywhere, man.
Echo Zealand and then the Taliyah Ziggs and just the Taliyah decks in general.
No one talking about Ziggs, Kate.
Six game, whatever. It
No one's
works
talking about Ziggs
because Shurima's duel for some reason are back to being good. It's probably just because Quicksand is pretty amazing as a
Mhm.
card.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Quicksand
what
stops
beats
anything?
what beats Shurima as a whole? Like, is there a deck that you see any Shurima deck, be it Mono Shurima, Zealand Zerath, or whatever Arsenal deck it is? Is there a deck that crushes them all?
Riven Victor
Azir
is very good.
Aurelia?
Riven Victor is
No.
very good
Riven
against all
Victor.
I
those.
drew 2 quicksands against Ruben Victor, and they just couldn't do
Oh, that's it.
anything.
This it
Well, I think,
does
like, the trade
generally
is
perform well.
But generally,
Need
like
burn.
six
Roji
1
says
drops,
Malphite.
right? 6 1 drops into like Mono Shurima has to
Roji,
just
that
crush
Roji,
them.
that's Shurima.
Yeah,
bro.
Roji didn't even hear the question though. He just said Malphite.
I guess
Malphite.
Azir Aurelia is also
Malphite.
Shurima. So
So
I'm
Yordle and
also
Arms.
I'm with, what am I? I
Yordle
think
Arms
anything
crushes
that can run like
everything other
Destinates and
than
Fervors.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, what?
Yordle and Arms crushes like everything other than Echo Zillion. Other than like literally Echo Zillion, right?
Or like
Legend.
Lisa.
No, I think
Young
Fizz
and
Lulu
Ida.
actually is not like amazing into Mono
Like we're
Shurima.
talking about Shurima decks, right? I'm pretty sure it's hardcore beating Mono Shurima, at least stats wise.
So,
It shits on Taliyah Ziggs.
Do you guys want to see something relevant to our discussion? That's a little secret.
Are you pulling up stats that are favoring your argument?
I'm listening.
Obviously, I am. You know why? Because they are on my website. Check
Oh
this.
yeah.
Check this bad
your
boy out.
website.
Just put it in chat.
Oh.
matchup.
This is it's not finished.
matchup
It's not
table
finished
on
yet, but
masteringruneterra.com. Sorry, I repeat, that's masteringruneterra.com.
Huh?
Wow, this is loading really slow, man.
That's not-
yeah, sorry, it's because everyone's clicking on it.
Yeah, now we just all clicked and crashed the
Oops,
website.
oops.
So on an unrelated
Sorry.
website, I see a 61% win rate of Fizz Lulu.
Anyway, it's not finished yet, but I just thought everyone might want to take a peek.
Okay, but now I'm bringing triple Shurima to a tournament, and I ban your Harm. Now what?
That's what I did. Now
What?
you hope your opponent's not on Pantheon.
Wait, why does
they're
it
gonna
say it
ban your
has a
Ziggs Taliyah?
71% win rate? What the fuck?
Wait, I'm so confused.
What is it?
I'm
Or do
looking
you
at
have it
the
open?
look at the link, and I see Fizz Lulu into Azir Zerath is a 71% win rate. What the
Wait.
fuck?
Wait, I'm looking at the same link, and it says Azir Zerath is losing to Fizz Lulu, or is beating Fizz Lulu 58%.
What is happening?
What is going on?
He's like changing the numbers as you're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, Fizz Lulu looks
Work in
crazy.
progress.
Wait, why is this? Why is this?
I
happening?
see. Which one are you guys looking at? Fizzloo into what? Maybe it's on here
Azir
twice.
Azir Zerath.
No. Fizzlulu into
You're right. It does.
How do you read this table? Oh, I'm sorry.
Azir Zerath.
man.
You go from left to
so
right.
long.
It says
Okay,
Fizzlulu
okay.
has a 71% win percentage. That's what I see.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah,
pretty good to me.
If you follow the first column of Azir,
Yeah, Azir into
it's
Fizz
saying it's
Lulu is
also winning into
58%.
Fizzlulu. They're both favored into each other. I don't know how that works. But
Oh shit.
I think that came up as like an error some
Yeah, it's
time
got
ago.
it.
Anyway, like I said, it's not done. I never. This is reason it hasn't launched. I have no idea what the stats are on it at all. I was just saying, isn't that pretty? And soon we will have that to share.
Wait, do you guys just throw a bunch of random numbers up here and you're just like, all right, it's going to work?
It might. I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
look so
I'm not.
pretty.
I'm not the dev. I just want you to look at it. I wasn't like, hey,
I know,
come
yeah.
look at these stats.
I'm confused.
100% of the time, Henneke's not making the finals of a tournament. So I mean, that's a stat that we could have on here. But
What the fuck, bro?
Why?
I literally just said 100% of the time, and then tried to think of something to burn Henneke with, and that was what came in my mind. So
That's what you came up
it's
with.
a large. It's too much. 100% of the time, I'm not even making top 32. Okay, how's that? There you go.
Ooh.
That's fair. Hey, you're making 7-2 a lot, though. Proud of you, buddy.
7-2. Yay.
Shurima
is
kinda
good.
Huh? What's up with that?
Uh,
I just think Quicksand
So,
is broken
speaking-
as hell.
Quicksand's
And
dumb.
like mid-range
Quicksand's dummy
landmarks
good.
are kind of good.
Yep,
Quicksand needs to get nerfed.
it's so
I
good.
think it's
How do you
gonna get
want-
nerfed.
Just revert it, or
I don't know. Need some change.
I want Ziggs to get hit. I wanted Ziggs to get hit before. That
Ziggs?
fool's
I
so
want-
big for no goddamn reason.
Yeah, he's chonky.
He's so big.
Yeah,
I want
totally.
Ascended Zera to lose like 2 points of health or something stupid.
He also has a lot of.
Why
health
is he
for
a
no reason.
5'9"?
It's very big.
he's a 5'9", and if you kill him, they drew another one. They just drop
Yeah.
it instantly.
Yeah.
And they have 2 mana deny. Dude, I fucking hate that deck. I fucking hate that deck.
All right, keeping on the topic on that the Ziggs thing, and I know, imagine you've played a bit. Which one is the best list? Because I've seen Ziggs Taliyah with the list. I've seen Ziggs Taliyah with the 3/3 overwhelm guide against +1/+1 when you destroy thing. All in with Unleash Energy, up to 3 of them or 0 of them.
Mhm.
1 Arsenal, 2 Arsenal, 3 Arsenal. Like, is it there's just text or is there like agreed upon best list? Because I'm looking into learning that deck, I guess.
I think Ziggs Taliyah is like obviously one of the strongest decks, probably top 3 decks in the game right now. The question is like obviously which one. I don't like the list as much. I think it's less consistent. It's a little more high rolly.
Yeah, I hate reading that card. I have to read it every time.
Yeah. Now it can be very good, and against decks that don't interact with you, it's way better. Right? You have these like this overwhelm 3-mana unit, and then you can like the list things to get free attacks. I prefer the more standard one. I like 2 copies of Unleashed Energy. And then the Arsenal should be probably 1 or 0 of.
Okay.
And then you should be on 1, anywhere between 0 to 2 of the Magus, probably 0 to 1, depending
The
on what
big
you're doing
thing
with the
is
Arsenal.
explosive minefield, right? Having
Yeah.
access to that.
Yeah.
that
So
card's-
like if you
yeah.
if you play two Unleash Energy, like playing the all 3 of the minefield, and then probably some of the Waste Walker kind of seems to
Yeah,
would
you
make
can do that.
sense.
I have not tried Waste Walker in the standard one yet. I will tell you that. But I love 3 explosive minefields.
Okay.
Yeah, Minefield's certainly like really good. I think like it can be 3 or even 2 of is fine if you want to make space
if
somewhere.
you really
but,
want
like
to. Yeah.
it's
I was-
good. It's a good card to have.
I think Bandle City version is just better because you can play Arsenal. Like I always want 1 copy of it at some point in the game.
Mhm.
I actually think
cleans
the
up.
Inventive Chemist is a big deal. Like
The Inventive Chemist is a big deal.
Because I was
also
playing.
not every list is even playing the Chemist.
Right, because they're
Yeah.
Shurima legions basically.
Yeah. I was playing the Kate Ziggs today, and
Yep.
like I couldn't level my Ziggs. I wasn't like it took me till like turn 7 or 8 to level Ziggs with just the Shurima landmarks.
Because
So
no
it takes,
chemist.
Yeah, right. So that was like a big hit I found. But it's still like the best tri-beam deck in the game.
Here's
I've
my
seen like
question.
some. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna start bitching about something, so you can go ahead.
I was
wanna
gonna
get that.
say I've seen some like random like just champion split. So like some people just lean on like 2 Ziggs and like I guess a splash champ. I've seen like Renekton, I threw in like a Gnar, and Gnar did pretty okay. So like there's definitely some room for variation there. I don't know if you need 3 Ziggs. Ziggs okay. It's pretty okay, but
Would have
I
felt
think
like
better stuff.
Taliyah would be the one even a little bit more
Yeah,
awkward
I
than
think
Ziggs.
Ziggs is crazy.
Oh really?
Ziggs
Taliyah
1v9
is
games.
insane.
There have been
Sometimes
so
he-
many games
He
where
just sits there, and then you're like at 6, and then you're dead. Like,
Bro, he's burned me
Yeah,
out from 14.
Sometimes you can just checkmate them if you have like a lot of landmark and you have your 6 flip. It's like you literally cannot do anything because every
That's
time you do
true.
something, you take 2.
there have been a
Where
lot of
Taliyah is more
instances where
manageable because she 100% need to be in combat to do things.
Taliyah is good, but like by turn 7, there have been multiple instances where like I look at my health and I'm at like 6, and it's like, when did this happen? Why is it literally only Ziggs that has done damage to my Nexus this game? I don't understand. Okay, but I need you guys to sign my petition.
Okay.
The Devout landmark. When they drop Naturalist on it, or Red Arcane, and I Scorched Earth it, why do they still get a fucking unit? Can they not get a goddamn unit if I'm the one to pop their fucking landmark? On
You
the
should
same
get the
thing,
unit.
Scrappy Bomb. If I pop the Scrappy Bomb, why does it deal damage? What is this?
why are you
That would-
breaking the Scrappy Bomb?
I mean, that would be actually a super fine nerf
If I have
to
if I have
Shurima.
1 health.
Yeah.
If I have 1
Mhm.
health and I need to pop it, so I don't die. I want counterplay.
Just die, bro.
Just heal.
Die, bro.
Take the L.
But no, the Devout one's the one that really pisses me off. If I'm the one that's popping it, they shouldn't get a fucking unit. That's my whole thing.
Whenever you have to Scorched Earth it because like you have to stop this Rite of Arcane, it feels
Oh,
fucking
yeah, yeah.
miserable.
Yeah, so,
That's
Ugh.
true. Like I wouldn't mind that. Some counterplay.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be a good
you'd have to change all of the cards. Like, you'd have to change minefields. It doesn't work like that. I mean, if you want to do it, that's fine.
Hex.
I don't
Yeah.
I would like to do that. That would be great.
Shurima's weird. It had been a problem when like Merciless and Rune Runner was big, and now it seems like a problem because we were too efficient with saving things with Hourglass and keeping ourselves alive with Quicksand. It's a weird region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my list of regions I'd be annoyed at.
Well, it just
Very
kind of
annoyed
randomly got the best spell in the game. For no reason.
Yeah.
Your Quicksand's huge. For
And
that
it
reason.
revealed all of its annoying tendencies.
And like it's so good at stopping removal. Like, why does it have 2 mana deny? Can it not have 2 mana?
Why does it also have 4 mana deny?
And also make that 4 mana deny.
Pushby says, Icado, there is counterplay. Just comment it.
Yeah.
Yes, I should.
Oh, of course.
Mana.
Comment at fast speed. Comment at fast speed.
We can give it a buff back. Right now that landmark is 1 mana. It could be 3 mana. That way it flips Malphite. I think this is like a little bit of give and take, you know.
I don't understand why the unit and the landmark are 1 mana. The 5/3 is a 1 mana unit. Do you recall it?
I had
Oh, that's
someone say
true,
it
huh?
once, which was
Not
pretty
that
didn't know
anyone
that.
does it,
Yeah.
but it is
But
1
the,
mana.
but the
I have
Grumpy
bounced
Rock
it
Bear is a 5-drop.
Yeah, Grumpy Rock.
Sure.
That card sucks.
So okay, I have a funny story. There's some guy I was playing on ladder. I'm sorry if you're watching this and I'm clowning on you for no reason, but this guy was playing Nasus Shadow Isles.
It was
right?
me. It was me.
base.
No, it was not you. There's no way.
I played
He,
against one
he passes
today.
1, 2, 3, and then he plays Assault Spire on 4. Eventually, he gets a Grumpy Rock Bear, and then he plays Vaults of Helia. His Rock Bear dies.
Oh wait.
It summons a Nasus, and then his 4/4 Nasus just dies. And I kill him. I don't know. It was really funny.
This is the Raw Rock Kills combo deck. So the thing
Right,
you do
right.
is the the thing was like a countdown 2, like the 3-mana landmark or 2-mana landmark. You play it on like turn 3, and then you play vaults on 5, and then it pops and turns into a free Nasus. And Nasus
and then you get a
free Rekindler, and Rekindler turns into a free Detonata, and Detonata turns into a free Ladros. And it's
so you get a 5/5 Nasus. Nice.
How many turns is this?
Well, you're getting per turn value here, Kever. It's per turn value.
So dead, but sure.
It's really
interesting.
What's the end of the combo? You get Ledros?
I don't know.
Ledros.
It doesn't really matter.
Man.
Usually you win the game by having like multiple dogs out, or Detonata for free is kind of broken because you just clear your entire opponent's board.
Sounds like slow burn to me.
After 3 turns of having Vaults of Aphelios on board.
It's per turn value. I'm sorry. We have Majin in the call. Mr. Content Creator out here playing shitty YouTube decks, and he's talking shit on this deck? Come on.
I'm sorry, Raw Rock. I'm sure you're going to see this, and I'm
fucking deck for it, man. Come on.
It's a terrible deck. I'm sorry, dude.
I struggle to play Mimi decks for content on YouTube because I lose 3 times in a row and then feel like all my footage was wasted. I just lose for an hour straight. I'm like, fuck me.
Yo, bro, do you post that one I got you with eggs?
I wasn't recording.
Unbelievable. You played Echo Zillion for fun? Come on. Fucking make this a podcast of lies. That's fine. That's fine.
I always play like 2 games and then I start recording.
Oh.
Sometimes I'll play more if I'm not like feeling it. If I like don't like get it yet, I'll try to play.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So what's up with the Aphelios?
A lot of good decks against Aphelios currently.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Good deck has good counters.
Shurima's good against Aphelios, so Aphelios is MIA. Fair.
Kind of.
What is the Aphelios deck for you guys? I guess we could do this for a lot of champs. What is the Victor deck? What is the Aphelios deck?
I have answers.
Okay, go.
My Victor deck is Victor Lee, because I think, or just Victor Ionia. I just think all the other Victor decks are just all in, and I think Victor really benefits from having some kind of control shells around it, and can still game just as well as any other Victor deck if you want to build your deck that way. And then Palm and Deny are still amazing in a metagame. There's literally no other decks that can actually afford to run Ionia right now.
But they all have light mitigation.
I still think it's a good region, and things like Zillion Zerath, Echo Zillion, to me, it has always been weak to things like Palm, because like whenever they put their Echo, even if they rally 3 times in a turn, once it's Palm, they can't really put it back in combat and many other deck can. and yeah, so Ionia I think is good, but no Ionia deck is good outside of Victor Ionia, so that's my favorite Victor deck. And Aphelios, Noxus just feels very...
I like the Noxus one too.
Yeah, Aphelios Noxus just feels very smooth to me, and kind of makes sense that with all this dirtling that you do at the early game, it's good that you can actually close out the game. And Noxus removals are still okay, but
so what does the Noxus one do that closes out the game better than, for example, like the PNZ one?
Farron.
Pretty much Farron and other things that you can maybe discover or generate.
I didn't know they were playing Farron. Is that a new thing? Because I remember clowning on this deck. I was like, it just runs out of gas somehow because they spend all their...
It's been on Farron since it's been on Farron since before this patch. Like
I've been on Farron
like way back when. Yeah,
it's funny. I was gonna say that there's wrong answers for the Aphelios deck. I was gonna say like Victor Aphelios is bad.
I agree.
I was gonna say Noxus Aphelios was bad, but
yeah.
I Vi is the only way. Oh, not the only way. Like there's a couple other options, but I think
I like Vi the most. Yeah,
I think the problem, I think we're kind of slotted into PNZ because it's one of the only ones that can close the game, possibly in time against Mono Shurima. But I think the other ones are better.
I just like having burn and draw. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even care that much about the Mono Shurima matchup, but I don't know. And removal's nice, right? Like being able to actually kill things on site, like Echo, like other Aphelioses. Calling strike into a pale, you can only do it so many times.
Sentry into Flog is good.
Flock Sentry feels
just
so good.
Sentry Flock everything.
Yep.
Yeah, just always have
just have 6 of each. Yeah, no, and
every time.
pretty good.
That's better than Thermo and Get Excited and Aftershock. That's for sure.
Yep. I've just moved away from Aphelios for the time being. Like, I just don't think it's Aphelios' time. I also it comes back to the ladder grinding part. I fucking hate grinding my way, hard thinking my way through 15 LP at a time just to run into mono Shurima and get dunked on in turn 6.
Yep.
Playing an Aphelios deck and lose it all. 100%. It feels miserable. And that's
There's
why I don't want to play Aphelios right
that's the problem I have with mono Shurima. It's not that it's like it doesn't have counters, but like the decks it beats, it just kind of like it feels so bad.
Wood thinks mono Shurima is a problem and should get nerfed. Raise your hand.
I would like it to get tweaked, yeah.
Yeah. So nerf, I feel like has bad connotations. Like to me, like nerf's like Aphelios got nerfed.
I don't want to break
it. Never saw.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't want to shoot it in the back alley. Like
so, like what did it get? So it got quicksand and it got Azir, right? And so one of those needs to like get reverted or something.
I think part of the issue with the mono Shurima deck is that the only way that it's like playable is leaning into Azir and Xerath, which are the only two of the Ascended champions that don't have to interact with the game at all and can flip in hand. I think if there was some way to make this deck like playable and good, but they have to play Nasus or Renekton, I'm 100% down for that, because then they have to actually go into combat. They have to protect their shit. I'm down for it. The issue is right now, Azir and Xerath is so fucking hard to interact
What if they just put quicksand back to the way it was, though?
It's probably okay as well, but then Shurima like disappears on the map again.
You think so?
I don't know, Jordan.
Well, except for like mono Shurima because it's just so polarized, right? But like the other mid-range stuff takes a big hit.
I actually like quicksand. It's fucking busted, but I like it.
I actually like it too. I actually like it too.
I've embraced it because I've played a lot of Shurima at this point. It's like
if you have it,
Jordan said in chat that like if we're not okay with mono Shurima, we need to not be okay with tree, which I think is a fair argument. But right now, it just feels so crazy fast. The Shurima deck on turn 6, like tree is not winning on turn 6 or 7.
I also, except for Florent, we don't like tree.
I don't understand you guys in the hatred of alternate win conditions. They are so fucking fun. Most of the time they're like tier 2 or tier 3 or tier fucking nothing. Like what was the other one? What was the other one that got fucking nerfed with the timelines? Timelines got nerfed. The deck was tier 3.5. It was fucking terrible. But it was like, no, I don't like losing no combos sometimes. Like, what are you talking about? It was so, the deck was bad. Like, why do you hate a deck that's bad? Like, that makes no sense to me. And so I understand in best of one, that's going to be a fucking problem. Like, when you have something like Tree, you have something like Mono Shurima, because you just got no outs, right? Like Maja just said, you queue up against it, you're like, yep, this is fucking me now. Like, I just lose. Like, you're playing Darkness or something, or a bunch of the decks that Mono Shurima shits on, or that Tree does, fucking feels terrible. It's like, best of one's the problem. Like, fucking alternate win conditions are not the problem. You got to expand you can't just go quick attack things, overwhelm things, fucking forever.
I agree that alt Wincons are not inherently bad, but I feel like they have to promote an interesting play pattern. And like, what is interesting about Tree to you? It's like, oh, I play my 5 minions and then I sit here,
and you just always have more. You never run out.
It's not interesting to me. Yeah. That's the thing.
What's interesting to you about, like, I play a guy, I kill your guy, I play a guy, I kill your guy, you die. Okay, that's aggro. Okay, let's play fucking I gain a bunch of life and then I go get a fucking 9/9 dragon and I hit that with you and throw it in
to
your
be fair,
fucking face.
I also hate. I'm not a big Targon guy. Like, I don't love Targon. I'm not like, oh, I
want to expand what like I don't like Lurk. I don't fucking like Lurk. Jason Sensational, what do you like about Lurk? It's fucking different, right? It's not the same. It's unique.
It's the game though. It's the game though. It's the game I want to play. Even Roji's like, what's even interesting about this game? Let's all quit. And that's like the point you're making.
I'm saying there should be something for everyone. You guys are like, no alternate win conditions. Like, okay, no aggro. Okay, no fucking control.
It's that Tree doesn't expand the like possibilities of how you win the game, because it's just spamming a bunch of units. Like, and it doesn't change the way you like approach the game.
So I think I think the issue is
except it has a I win at the end, like for no fucking reason.
I think alt Wincons can be okay because like I don't have an issue with Lee Sin existing as an alt Wincon, which him OTKing you is basically an alt Wincon. It basically is. Yeah. It doesn't say on there I win, but it is I win. But I think that the issue is when these exist, you have to have either sufficient amount of counterplay or interactivity that you can have with their win condition, or you have to be able to kill them. And the issue is right now you can't kill Tree.
Totally agree. Now, do you guys not think that we should have more landmark removal? Like there's a shocking there's like no landmark removal ever. We have like aftershock that does like deal 3 or kill a landmark. Why can't there be more things like heal 3 or kill a landmark, like draw a card or kill a landmark? Like there could be much better answers to Tree rather than just getting rid of Tree.
I think adding answers to Tree doesn't make the play patterns any more interesting to me, or like it more, I don't know.
Just because you don't like the deck doesn't mean it shouldn't exist. I fucking hate Lurk. I still want it to exist. I thought those nerfs that it just took were stupid. I hate the deck. So be fair.
I have a spiel.
Spiel.
Okay. I would like to not be interrupted though when I do it.
All right.
No promises.
So I think I don't have a problem with alternate win conditions. I have a problem with decks that don't play the game, and don't allow me to play the game, and things like Tree doesn't really allow you to play the game because its entire purpose is to not interact with you like as much as physically possible, and then the game just ends. And I would like to move away from that. I love Starspring. I think Starspring is a cool deck because outside of some matchups, Starspring is very interactive. It gets in there in combat. It has the Tom Catch spells, right? It actually interacts with your board. And then if you kill their units, they can't do the Starspring thing. If you bounce Starspring or you kill it, they have to reset. It's more interactable than something like Tree or Shurima is. And I think it's fine to have these alternate win conditions. Like, I see no problem with Fiora or anything, even when she was better. I think maybe we just need to move away from them being landmarks. Can we, like, make them something else? You know, like Lee Sin is fine to me because you can interact with Lee Sin. He's a unit. He's meant to be interacted with. But, like, landmarks, they kind of aren't. Just move it. And if you're playing a deck that can't interact with landmarks very well, if I'm playing a deck that like is Shadow Isles and I'm not running fucking Crumble because it's terrible, just do away from that.
Yeah. I think you said like really well like what I kind of meant. Like I think Fiora is an interesting win con because it changes how both players approach the game. I think Starspring's interesting because it changes how you approach, like the combat in the game, because you're thinking about how am I going to remove them? How am I going to remove their units without them being able to heal and stack their Starspring up? And how do I approach combat? When do I let them attack me and hit my face so that I don't give them any like healing and stuff like that? And I think it's interesting. But I don't think Tree adds anything like that from like an interactability side. Is that more clear, I guess?
I agree with that.
I totally agree. We're just dunking on Jason love for Tree.
I don't even love it that much. How much? Okay, so what do you guys think about alternate win cons then? Because there's been lots of talk of hate of alternate win cons.
I'm fine with everything we just named, like Fiora, Starspring. Lee Sin.
I'm pretty sure everyone here fucking hated Fiora. By the time Fiora had to go, when Fiora
I was tired of her.
I agreed with her nerf. I didn't hate the play pattern. I hate the play pattern.
Dude, there was lots of decks that you played in Fiora, you were just fucked, right? That's why she was so frustrating.
I think there's a difference between like fundamental like design space for these win conditions versus like how it's actually in the game. It's like I think Fiora existing as like this, quest. I have to kill 4 different things. I have to go into combat and actually engage with these things. I think that's fine. The issue is as she existed, in some instances, she's literally unkillable, and that's bullshit. Right. In a similar way, I think that like Shurima, the way they exist in the game, like you have to get your guys out there and they have to flip, and it takes a while. That's cool. That's fine. But its current implementations, like maybe a little bit sus. Tree, I don't know, homie. You just play out units. Like you aren't doing shit. Come on. There isn't like an interesting design here. We aren't like trying to play the game in a different way. We aren't like even rewarded for playing the game. We're just literally slamming units. And it's just like, I win. I don't know.
I'm personally not the biggest fan of alt win cons. I just think that there's a lot more interesting design space that could be had with them. Like, I don't like the fact that Fiora can just like win the game right now. Fiora like killed 4 units and had some really interesting
Became
sort
Exodia.
of, not exactly Exodia, but like just like instead of like winning the game, it becomes like this big tempo play, right? Like every time you kill a unit, you get to strike an opponent unit or something like that, right? That like snowballs you in tempo, but doesn't win you the game right away, right? And I feel like something interesting that maybe this isn't right because I just don't play the game anymore. But I like watch Hearthstone and they have like these quest line rewards that give you like a reward that like slowly snowballs you into the game. But obviously you can still lose to other things. Doesn't win you right away, but you're doing a lot better than you were before you finish your quest Wincon kind of strategy. And I feel like that could be like a lot healthier and just more interesting design space because I feel like Fiora is balanced around her being like a Wincon, right? Like Fiora can't really have 3 health, otherwise she would just be like too like be too tanky, be able to like challenge too easily. And that's like really limiting her space, right? Same with like Lee Sin. It's hard to like balance him very well because he's tied to this like ability of his to like win the game. Same with Fiora, right? I just think that's rather uninteresting.
I super agree with what you're saying. My favorite decks across games, not even decks, my favorite things across games are something that allows you to approach the game in a different way. So like my favorite decks in Magic were like Storm, Artifact, and like kind of Affinity and like Clan Ironworks. Decks that got to like kind of do things differently, but I fucking hated Maze's End. I do not want the text "you win the game" on anything. If you kill 4 things and Fiora turns into a spell shielded 30-30 overwhelm, that catastrophe, that's cool. Not specifically that, right? But like that's interesting to me. If Bandletree flips and all your multi-region units now have +2/+2 and impact or something, that's way more interesting to me. I love things that let you approach the game in different ways. I just don't want it to actually end the game because it promotes these anti strategies that don't want to play with you. Fuck. Yes, thank you. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to avoid.
Right, like Swain Leviathan, pretty cool. Zoe Level, pretty cool. Fiora, not as cool. Right?
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, no, I'm with the same camp now that is well explained. Definitely would feel the same way. And also, those would be my favorite decks in other games. But having the I win the game text change to something like just super crazy powerful, you could argue that's what Mono Shurima is right now. It doesn't say I win the game.
That's true.
But
didn't you just say you were okay with Starspring and then just say that you hated anything that said I win the game on it? Like how? I don't even know where to start with you.
I would prefer if it was changed to something else.
Yeah. Basically, Starspring is not really like you have to do so much work for your Starspring to matter. It might as well be win the game. Like you've done so much in the game already. You've completely played the game differently as if you would not have the Starspring.
I feel like there's so few decks that like have to play super differently into Starspring that like actually matter. Like you either have to be super linear and kill them, otherwise you damage them like for 6 health in the beginning of the game, and then suddenly you're fucked because they heal it broad back. Or like you just at some point in the game you just can never attack because your units are just like dirtlers and you just can't do anything. Like there's so few decks that actually have to do something differently to impact the game against like Starspring that it's in the same camp for me.
Okay, I can get on board with that. I like I said, I would prefer if it were changed to something else. I prefer if all the you wins were changed to more interesting things. And also, like, wouldn't it feel better? Like as the player, like, I think it would feel better.
You get the Starspring deck. You get the tree deck. You get the.
What if it's like your units can never be damaged again?
Something like that. Something. Well, I want to like. I want to, when I fulfill the thing, I want it to be a fucking power fantasy on my side of the board. I want to do some dumbass shit.
So you like Mono Shurima?
No, you're right. I really like Mono Shurima. It's just too good right now.
Yeah, it's too fast. It's like
a feels perspective.
Interacted with.
You know, maybe it's like a little bit cooler. Maybe, you know, getting your 30 seconds, like 90 seconds of like jerk off is just great. But is it fundamentally different?
Yes.
Like, why?
There are so many times where if I get to start my turn, I win the game opponent. Like probably 50% of the time.
Like, so you just want it to win less? What if it said on there, I win the game next turn? Like, how's that fundamentally different?
Oh, just nerf it though. It's not. But that's not what it would be.
But that's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying that I want the decks to just be bad, which they have pretty much been.
But when they're not, they feel.
And I totally agree with that. Yeah, but like that.
But I mean, like,
and it's just sometimes
to
too hard
Kato,
to
that's like saying like when I level up Zoe, like win the game, but it's not, right? Like I've beat my punt when they leveled Zoe before.
I'm not saying
sure,
Zoe's
it's like it's like the same concept, right? Like you activate your whatever, you get a very serious boost, Emperor's deck, whatever it may be.
Beat Emperor's deck.
But that's like the thing, right? Like that
20%
thing's just like
of the time, probably.
It's not even Emperor's deck. It's just fucking. It's just Xerath.
I know it's Xerath. I know it's Xerath. I've played against the deck a lot. I know it's literally.
I've seen Emperor's deck with leveled Aesol.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a fundamental difference there. I'm not sure if there is one, other than like it feels a little bit better. Because you got like, it feels a little bit better to win, and like maybe you got to try another turn.
But it just doesn't like devalue what your deck does, right? Like you still interact with like if it's all on board, it's still like your deck still does the same thing. You still have removal, you still have like combat tricks, you still have units. Like you still do your game plan still, it's just harder, right?
I see what you're saying. I think that there's probably like a conversation to be had about like fundamentally how to approach decks like that and how they can exist in this game in a healthy manner. But I think that requires like a really long devoted conversation to it.
Fuck, I think we need to be playing a lot of best of 3. Like this stuff like this is always going to happen in best of 1. There's always going to be like problems when you go too linear.
I would argue it's
on anything.
The problem is that this stuff happens in best of 3, right? Like
not to this extent, though.
I lost
like
triple tree like a bunch of times.
Or just like they're all
a bunch of times
on Shurima, right?
What was that? What was the fight night? Not this one, but the last one I played in. I was up against Bandletree, Tom Kentraka, and something else that super hard counters Lee. That's the two of the alt win condition decks, and I was just like, oh, I lose.
I caught it.
Yeah, so if they go up against like triple aggro, oh, they lose. It's done. It's over.
Sure,
yeah,
but like
I would like to avoid that.
Those lineups are just inherently super polarizing. You have to like hard counter them.
Having polarized
you have to hard counter triple tree. There's a reason you've barely seen any triple tree because it's not good. Is anybody going to say triple tree is good?
No, but you just replace two of the trees with mono Shurima and X or something, right? At some point you'll have 3 just non-interactive decks.
Did triple tree win seasonals?
Yes.
It made the final.
I think it got kind of lucky.
It's kind of bad.
No, it made the top 4.
Kind of bad.
You want to talk about the other decks that have won seasonals? Let's go with
beat like a 9x decimate lineup.
Pirates, spiders. We should definitely be nerfing those. Oh, how about the Matron Sithra combo that I was just playing earlier today? That one seasonals too. Wow, that should definitely be the yardstick.
Honestly, I agree. We should nerf spiders. We should nerf Lulu Zed again, and we should nerf pirates. It's just.
I'm down for it. Fuck it.
All right. Question then. Another question outside of this this conversation, because we're just gonna be running in circle. What's up with scouts? That win rate is not legal when I check Twitter and win rate charts.
Is it high?
And I see it nowhere on ladder. And like just check Dryset's tweets every day for the past 4 or 5 days. He's been doing like those win rate.
How many matches is it? Because I got 100% win percentage on eggs currently, so it's not at least 3 digits.
It's more than like a couple hundred. I
think it's around a couple hundred.
Yeah,
at some point it was at least 1%.
From.
I don't think it is when you're talking about all the servers and potentially all the ranks.
2 days in the last 2 days, 1,300 matches, 60.5.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels very high. And I don't really see it in ladder, and in tournaments, I kind of see it, but not that much. And it's either unexplored or there's something else that people understood that made Scout bad in tournament or something. But it feels like it should be more present.
The stats lie. This is what it is.
You think it's bad? You think Scout is bad?
Okay, good, bad is tough. I think this is what's happening right now. Why you're seeing it? People are bored. and people are trying all kinds of stuff. Have you seen Drisloth's decks? People are trying all kinds of stuff right now, and a deck that like Scouts that is extremely linear and still pretty powerful is going to do very well. And like kind of forgotten about a little bit, is going to do very well in that environment.
You could say the same argument to like other decks that's kind of linear and crazy like that, and they're not shooting up in win rate like Scout is.
I mean, all the linear decks are doing super well right now. Riven Victor is like a figured out deck, and it's still doing super well.
It finds super well.
It sounds like it has like it's like a 57% win percentage.
Scouts is just linear, but doesn't lose the quicksand.
You see that's an argument I buy.
That's a good
Scouts
argument.
doesn't lose to quicksand.
That's a good point. And they
That's all Scouts.
things
And
like
they can
Pantheon
rally.
are
Like,
falling
hello.
off the ladder. I don't see Pantheon very often anymore.
That's true.
And also
Pantheon is really good right now too.
It should be good against the Shurima color in general, probably Pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you say like quicksand is good, it's like sure the quicksand like Pantheon is still gonna be a problem. Like they're not
Yeah. They're not killing it by reducing its attack by 2.
I cannot play that deck now, man. Pantheon puts me to sleep. It's so.
Mhm.
I would rather play Scouts, I think, than like the Yuumi Pantheon deck.
Alright,
I do not like that deck.
line up for Ari. Pantheon, Scouts.
Don't leak. Don't leak.
What's the
Don't
third
leak.
one?
Don't leak, don't leak. Actually, you guys can leak. I don't fucking care.
What would the third one be? What is my third? What is another deck I hate playing?
You're
Not
not
Echo Zillion, I guess. Yorlin, yeah. No, I like doing Flame Chomper shenanigans with Captain. I think that's kind of fun, but I don't love playing Yordle Arms.
I heard Lurk had above 50% win rate or something.
Oh, let's go.
I just lost to Lurk earlier today.
I mean, Lurk still
It's
does
super
look
good to
like
Mono Shurima, isn't it?
Is that true?
I don't think so.
Really?
I'm not as inclined to believe that, but it could be true.
It's possible. I don't know. I mean, like I have no actual evidence to support my hypothesis.
Pantheon is okay into Mono Shurima.
Yes.
For Pantheon, but for the other
Like,
one.
if you drop like 3 Lurk Fearsomes, I'm sure like you're doing pretty well for yourself. But,
Yeah.
The guys just get
So-
so big, and they have so many of them.
Yeah, they get chumped pretty easily, and then the ones that don't get quicksanded, and you're flipping like once you flip that Sun Disc, oh boy, like that game is over, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Lurk's,
on the spot.
Lurk's fast though. Like Lurk's really fast.
Lurk
Like, how many times you play
can
against
be
Lurk, and on,
fast,
like, turn
it can
4, they just have,
also
like, a
be
bunch of
very
guys.
slow.
Yeah, I mean that's
Like Lurk sometimes
the
needs
deck,
to go
right?
to those games. Lurk sometimes needs to have those games where it goes to Jellfish and it has a big board at that point, but it's not gonna get to that point against Sundisk. So you're only playing like some range of hands that actually can win, which is like smaller than the usual pool.
Just praying for Rek'Sai on top of the deck every time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so a bit of a change in subject. We've been on for a little over an hour. I figured this might be a good spot to wrap up. You have to grind to the top of the ladder. What are the 3 decks you would consider playing? Because I'm gonna start my grind here pretty soon.
I'm also starting my grind.
Yordle Arms, Scouts, and what was the last one? Mono Shurima?
Mono Shurima.
Okay.
okay.
I want Vic. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Riven Victor, which I feel bad for just like putting it down because like I crushed with it, and then the meta seemed like it was bad. I just like was like, nah, this deck's done. And then now it's just like crushing again because everyone seems to have moved on. But Riven Victor, I guess also Yordle Arms, and so the top of the ladder you said?
Yes. World's points. 7-2 split. That's what you're looking for.
I dare to say Mono Shurima.
I think Mono Shurima is insane. I think it's so good. I'm with
Yeah.
Akedo here. I think it's cracked.
I'd like for Victor Lee to be in there. I really enjoy the playstyle, and I think the win rate is high enough that I can grind high. Probably need to add Mono Shurima to that, but it'll put me to sleep. I really don't want to be grinding Mono Shurima, but I probably have to. And I'm not sure I'd say Yordle and Harms on ladder. Like I think it's fine, and you can just try and kill the other Mono Shurima guys. But as a third deck, Pantheon maybe Pantheon can find a slot. Pantheon or Scouts.
Real quick,
I'd probably go like.
I'm curious to everyone's thoughts on Pantheon because like that it was hot at the beginning of the season. It fell off. It seems like it's hot again now.
Still very
Probably
good.
still good.
I think it's good because it's good against Shurima, and Shurima's everywhere right now.
I would go with Yordle and Arms, Scouts, Ziggs, Caitlyn.
I mean, Ziggs Taliyah. I can put Ziggs Taliyah in my
I was gonna
list,
put
yeah.
Ziggs Taliyah, yeah.
Like
That-
Pantheon.
The issue with Ziggs Taliyah is that you're getting shit on by like Yordle and Arms and like every Noxus deck ever, right? Well,
I
not
haven't
every.
really
So I
seen
play Ziggs
Yordle
Caitlyn.
on there.
Noxus deck. Are you?
Yeah, the aggro is pretty rough.
Yeah,
The
that's why I'm
aggro
talking
Noxus
about,
decks, not like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Tribing
yeah.
decks. The
Yeah, I'm
Tribing,
sorry,
you mean
Riven
the
Nox-
Tribing decks.
Pirates is on the up and up. There's
Yeah.
a ton of players playing Pirates right now.
Yeah. Pirates might be a good choice to climb too.
But Pantheon, your favorite quicksand deck, and probably some aggro burn.
Your favorite quicksand deck. I like that.
Yeah, pick your
Your
poison.
favorite quicksand deck. Yeah, no, I'm on board. I'm on board with most of them. I don't think I would be playing Yordle and Arms right now. I do think it's very strong, but I don't know. I think there are better options to reach the top of the ladder. I think like you might be better off playing like Mono Shurima. Honestly,
Yeah.
unless like the Pirates trend of today like really sets in and becomes a new like pillar of the meta, then maybe not. But yeah, probably like Mono Shurima, some form of Ziggs Taliyah. Yeah, but I would love to say Victor Lee, but I don't think it's the right answer. I
Yeah,
don't.
maybe I should switch it for Ziggs Taliyah.
I think it's funny, by the way. We talked about Aphelios being like kind of not great on ladder. I think in tournament, Aphelios is still broken as fuck.
Oh, he's busted. Yeah, he's
It's
so
insane. I just want to on the record with that.
Why would that be?
'Cause you can ban Shurima.
Yeah, and like it's a deck that just like it's so good into like so many goddamn things that aren't named Mono Shurima. Your opponent brings triple aggro lineup, you're like, dope. I just start casting Severums. Yeah. Obviously, it's not that easy, but you know that's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
No, you don't have to play a bro.
Fellas probably has one of the more even matchup tables, and then you just skill difference them.
I think it's just good into almost everything. I think there's like maybe a couple really bad matchups. Like Ziggs Taliyah is a really bad matchup, and like Mono Shurima is like a really bad matchup.
Yeah.
Like other than that, I don't know. I'm kind of beating like everything.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to cover? Real quick?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop out. I appreciate you all. Y'all are great.
Can we huddle for RA?
Yes, I'll meet you in the Discord.
Yeah, no, you want me to huddle with
let's do
you?
it.
I can be like,
please do.
Are we
I
playing against
consult-
Cicado's team?
I have no idea.
They're
No,
not
it's
in our
not in the same group,
bracket.
but-
Oh, okay.
We are
Finals,
playing
finals.
against Roji this week.
Ooh,
Oh.
what he's bringing could
Let's
be
make sure
anything.
you have it set for me.
I mean, what's he gonna bring? Is it Taliyah Malphite? Is it
Yeah,
Mono
what could it-
Shurima?
what could it be?
Sicilian?
With Malphite.
All right, catch y'all later.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
You what a jokester.
All right, see you guys.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.